Hi, Katya Woods, Philadelphia Tribune. Hi, guys. I'm happy to be here. I love everything about this show, but most importantly, I love that it shows us a different side of Black friendship. Talk about why that is important because it seems as though with us as Black people, we don't often get a chance to show a different side. It has to be one side works, and that's all we get.
Well, first and foremost, I'm excited to talk to you because you're in Philly. You write for Philly. I'm from Philly, so shout outs 215. That's right. Yeah, so I had to get that out of the way. Yeah, I think the idea itself for this show is inspired by my real life. I live in East Los Angeles. I frequent a wine bar. I hang out with my friends there, and we talk about the ups and downs of life. So they say, write what you know. And that's kind of when Dan and I were putting the show together, we talked about a lot of different ideas, but this was the idea that kind of rose to the top and got us the most excited. And I think overall, showing Black friendship is valuable, and it felt honest and true, and it felt like we could pull a lot of fun and humor out of it in a way, while still covering some themes that could at times be considered taboo in the community. And so with all those things considered, it just felt like that felt like the best idea for us to create the show, to explore Black friendship in that way.
Kudos, thumbs up on wine. I always say wine makes everything better.
It does, doesn't it?
And I just love, like, there's certain things that remind me of me and my friends, right? Like, we all have that friend who's really into their fits, right? So when he came in and he was wearing that all white, I think I was like, oh, I felt his pain because he
You
was
knew it was about to happen.
so I was like, hey, you just want to be, I will hug you, but your whole fit is messed up. That situation comes from real life also.
Yes. So and
that was a very fast yes.
Yes, and not only did it come from real life, but I'm half of the cast I've been friends with for the better part of a decade or more. So that being Nicole, Echo, and Carl, and the other half of the cast, we became fast friends. They're all very close and amazing. But I was at a bar with Carl Tart, and I was drinking wine, and I absolutely spilled it all over him. And he reacted very similarly. He was very calm, but he also left like a couple minutes later because he was covered in my drink. So sometimes you don't have to, look too far for a good cold open idea.
Who gotta talk about? I'm sorry, Dan. Please go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you would tell us the name of your friend who you related to, whose fit you didn't want to ruin. I just wanted you to spell. I just wanted you to dish. But go. You shouldn't.
No. I have a good friend named Sharita, and she's really into her outfits. And we all know better. 6 feet apart.
Yeah, don't bring any mustard around there.
You'll get some colorful language may come your way. So we know better.
Great.
Yeah.
And I love the episode of male vulnerability because I think it was handled perfectly because I think it's a hard thing for men to do, and to do it via humor and sarcasm was, I thought, really, really smart, kind of like cheeky to say, a hint. It gives men permission to be vulnerable. Dan, talk a little bit about that, you know what I mean? To just be able to be vulnerable with your guy friends without feeling like, for lack of a better word, like a punk.
Well, it's funny. Phil and I, we from the very beginning when we were talking about this, Phil and I would talk about real stuff and be open and vulnerable with each other. And a year or so ago, I don't want to blow up Phil's spot, but Phil started seeing a therapist and was very open about it. And that was sort of, and then actually within the last year, I started seeing a therapist, but I'm okay now. See, that's the kind of sarcasm we're talking about. And so that was really the genesis. The sort of, I feel like I'm taking Phil's answer, but it's the discomfort one feels oneself because of one's upbringing and because of your friends with talking about therapy, and there is a taboo in the Black community, and so like that became sort of the basis of the episode. And one of the reasons that we liked that was obviously it's great that there's this kind of hidden message about the importance of therapy and the value of it. But also when there's a taboo, when there's a thing that makes other people kind of bristle a little bit, it's the germ of comedy. It just means that it's going to be easy to generate the comedy story and have the jokes coming off of what's going on. So it's a really rich and fertile area.
Yeah, and just to build on that, there's therapy in 104, and then there's the crying story in 102, and so we explore that vulnerability throughout the show, and I think Dan hit it on the head with the therapy one, and then I think in 102 it was just about what's a fun, slightly heightened way to explore this idea that it's not always cool to like cry in front of your homies. And I'm a huge fan of Paddington 2. It's one of my favorite movies. And so that felt like a nice little runner to kind of have use as a kind of a fulcrum for a story that is essentially about not being comfortable crying in front of your friends too. So we try to do it throughout the season to kind of unpack and break down a little bit of that. You have to always have it together, because I personally don't always have it together as a person.
Well, also, I just want to say, I think Phil is truly a genius. And there are a lot of shows that do like their hangout shows, and it's like one person sees another person naked in the show. Like New Girl did a thing like that. And Phil was like, how can we spice up that idea since it's been done and it's been done really well? And he was like, what if one of them sees the other one emotionally naked? And so that became the
genesis,
root of it. And then there's some like really funny lines about seeing their emotional genitals and stuff like that. But it's like that's Phil's genius.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. And of course, Phil, shout out Philly.
215. I appreciate you.
215 all the way.
All right.
I'm a DC person.
That's East Coast. DMV.
All right.
Thank you.